Then came 2012 and 13. The decline continued as more and more students and schools were added. The API entered the range of many school districts with similar demographics. Next slide. Originally, Rocketship schools looked like a solution to the achievement gap, but as they have attempted to replicate Mateo Shiri, you can see what has happened. So far, there is no indication that this trend will change. Thank you.
Lucina Ojeda, Rosa Valdez, Jose Tellez, Jasmine Lozano, Rosalie Ledesma.
Good evening. My name is Rosa Valdez, and this slide shows the same data as the last presentation. Average Rocketship API scores over the last few years have dropped. It also shows their percentile when compared with other schools in California who serve predominantly low-income students. If this trend continues, by next year, Rocketship schools will enter the middle percentiles of schools with low-income demographics. That means they will have gone from phenomenal to average. If continues further, they will become below average within a few years.
My name is Jose. I come here because the only thing I just want is just a middle school because I'm in 5th grade and next year I'm gonna leave Washington. So I want a middle school where I could go to school. Thank you.
Janet Duran, Maria Marcelo, Jesus Hernandez, Esmeralda Oreles.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Janet Durán.
Good evening, my name is Jeanette Duran.
Vengo a pedirles, por favor, si podían poner una middle school que es más necesitada que la elementary. Muchas elementaries serían demasiadas.
I come to ask that you please give us a middle school because we have plenty of elementary schools.
Ya que mi hijo está en 5º grado y necesitaría en la comunidad una elementary más cercana porque no manejo muy lejos.
And now that my son is a 5th grader, he will need a middle school. I don't drive, so we need one that's closer.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Maria Marcelo, Jesus Hernandez, Esmeralda Oreles, Rosario Cruz.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es María Marcelo.
My name is Maria Marcelo.
Y yo otra vez, como siempre, creo que ya los cansé de que vengo a pedir.
I come again, and I think you're tired of me coming to ask again.
Pero que por favor nos tomen en cuenta como comunidad.
But please take us into consideration as a community.
Si se puede parar toda la gente que vive en el área de Washington, por favor.
If everyone could please stand that lives in the area of Washington, please.
Nosotros vivimos en esa área.
We live in that area.
Sabemos lo que es el tráfico, el peligro, el pandillerismo.
We know what it is, the traffic, the danger, and the gangs.
No discutimos calidad de escuela. Toda la escuela es buena.
We're not talking about the quality of the school. The whole school is good.
Yo mandé estas cartas hace tiempo, no sé si las recibieron.
I sent these cards. It's been a while. I don't know if you received them.
Pero son todas las cartas del vecindario.
But it's all of the community letters.
Pueden confirmar las direcciones.
You can confirm all of the addresses.
Y son personas que estamos preocupadas porque cómo nos quieren poner otra primaria teniendo 8 en el área.
We're all concerned because how are you going to put another elementary school when we already have 8 in the area?
La escuela es buena siempre y cuando los padres seamos buenos.
The school is good once the parents are good.
En este caso hay mucha división ya.
In this case, there's already a lot of division.
Para mí es tan feo entrar en esta sala y ver que se nos quedan viendo unos raros y nosotros también vemos raro.
It's bad to me when we come into this place and we look at each other differently.
No estamos discutiendo un trofeo.
We're not discussing a trophy.
Ahora, un parque, eso es una mentira. ¿Quién paga los taxis? Nosotros.
Now, a park, that's a lie. Who pays the taxes? We do.
Si no se hizo 10 años atrás, ¿cómo nos van a decir ahora? Vamos a aprobar un parque y en 4 años se los hacemos de nuevo.
It hasn't been approved in 10 years. How are you going to say you're going to approve it now and in 4
I'm
years?
sorry, your time is up.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Aquí están las cartas.
Goes to the clerk.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Claudio.
I'm María Claudio.
solamente quiero hablarles acerca de la Escuela Washington.
I want to speak to you about the school Washington.
La escuela tiene los mejores maestros, los mejores alumnos, y cada día que vamos a la escuela, todos vamos contentos.
The school has the best teachers, the best students, and every time we go, we are very happy.
Yo y mi esposo y mi familia no creo que necesitemos otra primaria, puesto que todos somos una comunidad, y si somos comunidad, no necesitamos más, puesto que nos debemos de unir.
My whole family and I believe that we don't need another elementary. We need a middle school because we all need to get together on this.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Patty Lozano, Aurelia Sanchez.
One, we're not a school board, and that I think as staff presented this is, or I think it was the representative from Launchpad or from Rocketship said it very correctly. This is a land use issue. And so as we're discussing this tonight, you know, from all of the comments so far I've heard up on the dais, not one comment has been about land use. And this is a land use issue. Anytime you build something, you're going to create an impact in a neighborhood where that impact didn't exist before. In this particular case, you know, bringing 600 students and folks from as far away as Campbell with their vehicles into a neighborhood that never experienced that type of traffic impact before. Those are some of the things that, as we're debating this and discussing it, that we need to take into account.
I have to be a bit surprised of whether staff's recommendation is based upon just the land use decision tonight or the past action that the mayor spoke to, which was 6-4, why we're continuing along this path. I just don't feel that there's a compelling case in my mind whatsoever that we're making the right policy decision, whether it's for the students, whether it's for the city of San Jose and the property we own. I don't feel it. I'm not even close to that point. Again, I'm not really asking a question, so I'll stop leading in with I have a concern. Now, I'm not sure if the San Jose Unified representatives are comfortable talking about this, but I do have a question about the need for a middle school, and I don't know the area quite well. I don't represent that area. But would you be comfortable talking about the closest middle school in the area and what your plans are for the students? So we've heard a number of times from some parents that the need for a middle school is a top priority for them. Is this something that's been going on in your school district from time as far as the conversation?
We are having conversations. We are looking at the demographics and the need. I'm Vince Matthews, Superintendent of San Jose Unified School District. We are looking at the needs of the area. A couple of things we're looking at is the possibility of a K-8. You asked the question, the closest middle school right now, there's two, Willow Glen Middle School and Burnett Middle School. So we are looking at that right now.
So Willow Glen I know pretty well. That's pretty far, but Burnett, help me how close that is to the area.
I don't know that.
Okay. Oh, that one. Okay. Correct. Thank you. Okay. So that too is not, okay. It's another commute school, not a
correct.
local
So
school.
we have heard the concerns from the community. At the same time, we've already begun looking at the issue and examining the data to see just where those numbers are, and also begin having conversations with the community.
Okay. I haven't been on a school board. If you don't mind, one more question. When you're evaluating the schools that you do have and the locations and maybe charter issues that come up, do you consider maybe converting one of the sites that you do have as elementary into a middle school, or is that not part of the conversation so far, or is that too preliminary?
That is part of the conversation. As I said, looking at either converting
Well, you said a K-8.
Or a K-8.
Okay. All right. Thank you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor Reed. As been said, the neighborhood deserves a park, and I would argue that the main reason you don't have one is the city council exempted certain housing developers from paying park fees, and the city lost out on approximately $100 million. So that's a reason why you don't have a park built out, and I'm proud to say I voted against every single one of those projects that were exempt from park fees. The area also needs a middle school, so I'm intrigued with this notion of K-8, and Superintendent, can Washington technically, with a 6-acre school, be turned into a K-8 or even be considered, or is it completely impractical? River Glen is a K-8. I don't know what the approximate size differential is. So that's a question to you, Superintendent.
We'll see if the superintendent wants to come back down.
Either
and
by
answer
sign
that.
language or another way, but I'd have to have you.
Yes, that's something that we are looking at. It's not impractical.
So the superintendent, for those watching at home, said it is practical to have that consideration. Since we've last talked about this, we've obviously had the court case that's been brought up, and where there is a sort of a pecking order or requirement of where charter should be going as dictated by the judge. And the judge said, go to the local school board. And the reality is that local school board should be making that decision. And if the local school board wants to vote and have that go here, then bring it back. And also, if San Jose Unified is unreasonable, the judge said he will make sure you make accommodation. So you can't be impractical, but you have to be accommodating. And so I think I'm in agreement with the way that order is going around.
Vote. We have a motion on the floor made earlier by the Vice Mayor. On that motion, all in favor? Opposed? I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 opposed. That's Kaura, Oliverio, Chu, Campos, and Rocha opposed. Motion fails on a 5-5 vote. We need 6 votes to pass a motion. Councilmember Oliverio.